Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig and I have a great collection of beautiful coffee themed papers called Mocha Fix 8x8 paper pack from our friends at 3/4 Designs. Absolutely gorgeous. And together, you guys, we made a card like this, 10-fold card where you open it up, there's a little pocket there for a special little tag, and of course a little giftable coffee card. And this is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a little flip through here. You're getting, of course, 8x8 papers. There's 12 double-sided papers, and there's some cutouts here as well. On the front here, there's a little QR code. You can scan that with your phone, and it says here you can get ideas from that. I tried it several times. I didn't have any luck, so I don't know if this is just so new that it's not available yet, but I also just went to their Facebook page, and they had tons of ideas, so definitely check that out. All right, so beautiful, beautiful papers. Now let's look at the distressing and the coffee ring here. I love those little details, a little area here for jotting down notes. We're going to do a journal page so I can show you that later. And I think these are wonderful for that as well as card making. Really beautiful florals. And then great little cupcakes, the details of the coffee beans, the beautiful script. This is a great stripe. It's got kind of a teal and then a brown stripe. Beautiful, the truffles and the cake. Oh. And then we've got the stripe again. And then the beautiful, I don't know, is that a latte? Who knows? It just looks all delicious. And then the beautiful, like coffee, like a mocha almost on the back. And then more with the espresso machine. This border, I just love. And then the giant clock face. The collaging here is really top notch. Okay, beautiful little brownies too. More of that script. Absolutely gorgeous. Kind of a teal color. And then we've got a whole sheet of beautiful little tags. Coffee, and then on the back, beautiful florals. And then finally another sheet of just cutouts. I found cutting these out, I just sat on my couch with my little mini scissors and just cut around each one. I'll show you how I cut that one out, and just had a great time, and it was fun to get them all cut out ahead of time. So let's take a look at our cute little, well, actually quite large, 10-fold card, okay? And this is, I always forget to measure, but I believe it's like 3 3/4 by 8 1/4 inch tall. And then I just cut 2 inches off the bottom of the card front only, and then just matted that with some beautiful sequin paper, you guys. This is bronze sequin paper. It doesn't shed. It's got a fantastic texture, and it cuts beautifully. We've noticed that it cuts, die cuts, really beautiful. And even though it's got this chunky sequin on it, so I took that and then just took a little strip that I had left over from one of the other cards with the florals on it, and then just glued that across the center. I did ink all of the edges of everything with cocoa bean, and then, you know, my favorite little applicator tool, and I found that that shading was really nice. And then here is one of the cutouts. This one right here. That one had a lot of straight lines on it, a couple of curves. It was really easy to cut out. And I also inked that. I just took my same applicator tool and inked the edges of that. That makes it a little bit more forgiving if you have some white edges when you're cutting out. So that's how I did that. I foam taped that piece right there. And then this top piece, I went ahead and I just sort of wanted to feature one of these beautiful florals and the cup. So cut this down, matted that with that beautiful sequin paper, ink the edges first, and then you can use Cosmic Shimmer glue on this, but you can also use some tape because you've got a little chunky thing here. And you could use our extra sticky tape or our super strong tape, which I forgot to grab, but I'll link down below below the video. That reminds me, if you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode, then all the items are listed down below. And if you click on the color photos of the cards, you get very specific details about the supplies. If you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, hello. It'd be great if you would subscribe while you're there. It really helps our channel. And also, if you look down below the video in the description box, you'll see the link that will take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page, because we have a fantastic money saver right over there on the right-hand side. So as soon as I finish describing this card, then we will talk about how we're giving it away as well. So at the top here, used our beautiful little, also big word dazzle stickers, and they're in this fantastic brown kind of coppery mirror color. And I love these. I used them on another one. So you just got a big statement of hello. Open up the inside. When I glued this little piece kind of over this piece that I cut down, you can see I've inked the edges there. I just glued this on 3 sides, and that just made it a little pocket. And here's one of the cutouts. Here's a little gift card. Just add that right in there, and it's good to go. These come with envelopes as well, so it's great for mailing. Okay, talk about our giveaway. So we love to give away at least one card to one of our subscriber friends over on YouTube. So we're trying to promote our YouTube channel. So all you have to do is go to YouTube, Paper Wishes, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe, or be a subscriber, and then we'll wait about a week and we'll go back and we'll reply to one of the comments with congratulations, you're the winner, and we will use someone's specific YouTube username. So you have to know the your username. It's also a good idea to hit the notification bell top right-hand corner so you know when we're trying to contact you, and also when we drop new videos. So we do this 3 times a week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday videos. So there's 3 chances to win every week. So I hope you participate in that. All right, so let's take a look at another one. This is a fun card. This is a card using our Trifold Surprise card cutting die. All right, so here is the die. It's a great big solid piece of metal, so it just doesn't warp or anything. It die cuts beautifully. And I just used, of course, a die cutting machine for this, and I used some 110-pound craft cardstock. It makes a wonderful base for the card. You can see here. And then I took my patterned papers and I actually just set one of those patterned papers on each little segment of the card. So for example, grab some paper here. To do this piece right here, I actually set it with the pattern side that I wanted face up. Of course, you have to cut this down to fit within your die cutting machine. So I just cut this piece off, set it right there, ran it through my die cutting machine, took this piece off, and then I just took my paper trimmer and I trimmed about, like 1/8 of an inch off of this side and this side, and that shrunk everything down just enough so that I could then put it on my card after, of course, inking the edges. And then it had a nice little border of this craft cardstock. All right, and I did the same for each one of the panels, and it made it go very quickly and made it a simple card to make. And then I took some of the cutouts here. We've got the tag here, we've got another tag. Here's a flower and a leaf. And then I added some We're Together Dazzle stickers. They come in a 2-pack of black, and I added hugs for the outside here and then missing you. So your friend sees the little tag. We've got these little border dazzles right here. I found this color works great. This is brown with gold jewel border dazzle stickers, and they just lift up just like this, and you can just place them on your edges of your cards and tags, and that's why we just love them. And then adding just a little bit of ribbon using our 1/8 inch ribbon collection in this light teal color is quite nice. So yeah, another fun one to make. All right, so this one, you guys, this is a center step card. Debbie and I love center step cards because it gives you a really nice space to feature your paper and your focals and things like that. And this paper pack is just loaded with all these great focals. We love that about that. Let the paper do the work for you, right? So on this one, I used a center step die cut card. There's 5 in a pack. And you can also buy this in a cutting die, okay? And that way you can make as many as you want. But I used the die cut cards. It comes folded, die cut, folded, everything. You just take it out, play with the paper. And so for this one, I used some of that stripe on the sides, inking the card edges and the paper edges. Here I just sort of featured a little bit of that coffee on the all over print with the coffee print on it. Inked the edges and glued that along the bottom. Added the little friend dazzle from the We're Together dazzle stickers. Added one of the little brown border dazzles right there. And then after inking the edges of this tag cutout, I added some more dazzle stickers here and foam taped that to the card. And then added another little bow there with the brown 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon. So cute and a simple card to make. All right, the last thing I wanted to show you is this journal from Stamperia, which is 5.8 inches by 8.3 inches, or an A5. And we've been doing pages in here that are like journal pages and scrapbook pages together. So for this one, I did a happy birthday page, took that beautiful clock paper, and I actually round the corners on this side so it matched the book, and I just used the little corner rounder for that, little punch. And then I inked the edges again with that cocoa bean, and then used those giant brown words. I think we call them big. Yes, we call them brown big greeting stickers, but they are quite giant. And I find it's nice when using those to use the little pokey tool. In fact, I use these with all the word dazzle stickers. That way I can lift them up easily and helps it lay them down easily. And then on the opposite page, which is where you would do some journaling here and here, I just did a little inking technique on the background here using water glass because I wanted to mimic that sort of coffee ring right there. It's really easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Used a scrap here as part of my mat and just took my little photo, matted that on white and black cardstock, and then overlapped some tags with some foam tape, a little of that ribbon. This little chocolate heart, foam taped that as well. And then this is that cutout that I was talking to you about before, where I just took my little scissors and I just went around the edge and I really tried to bring out that sort of the little points around the tips of the flowers, and wasn't particularly careful about it. But then I inked the edges with that brown cocoa bean, and it really kind of softened everything, and then I just foam taped that as well. So let's take a look at how I did this background. It was really simple. So the first thing we're going to do, take our little craft mat. Here's just some scrap paper here. And I'm going to take a little bit of this cocoa bean. And I don't have a water source near me, so I'm just using my mister here that's just filled with clean water. And then I'm going to take, this was the smallest water glass I had in my cupboard. So I didn't want one particularly large because I'm dealing with a small area. And then you're just going like this, so you're getting ink and water around the edge. And then to go off of the edge, just like this. There's one on the center, just like that. And you can even like overlap like that, okay? And then you can take a paintbrush. I'm just gonna use my water brush here and just load it up with a little bit of that ink and just tap it. Okay, just a little bit of splatter. And then I'm going to take charcoal. I'm going to do the same thing there, in case you like your coffee very dark. And then just add a little bit water there. And then I just added some charcoal as well. You don't need to do a lot of spattering, just a little bit. And I think it makes a really fun background, especially for our scrapbook page. If you want to extend your papers and you'd want to like use them on every other page, gives you a place to write, which is always nice. Okay, so let me grab these other things here. All right, so you guys, it is a super fun collection, especially if you like coffee. My husband adores coffee. I like to give coffee cards like I did in this one as gift to friend, just a couple of dollars on a coffee card. My husband loves getting just little $5 coffee cards in his stocking at Christmas and things like that. So I have a lot of those and I like to share them. So if you're a coffee lover or you know someone who is, I think you'll really enjoy this one. Don't forget, this is our giveaway card for this episode. We have a fantastic money saver right there on the right-hand side. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel. There is a link down below the video that will take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page so you can check out all the details. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I'll see you in the next one.